While my edited video is uploading to YouTube, I'm taking the time to bring my trash away. Some of you have asked me if I can show the campsite where my caravan/tiny house is. So I thought I would like to take you with me first to the place where I can bring away my trash, and then later on we are going to the reception of the hotel that's also here on the campsite because I have to pick up some happy mail from there. So going to the trash place is not so spectacular, but I like to go here because sometimes you can find really, really cool things here. And that was the fact on this day as well. Look at this. So here's the place where some people are putting items that they don't like anymore, that they have decluttered. And these are like flea market items. And today I was the lucky girl to find 3 of those pairs of angels. They are totally intact and they are really, really cool. Normally I'm not such a decoration person. I have not so many decorative elements in my tiny house because it's so tiny. But I thought I have the luck when I record this video to find these things here, so that I want to take some of those with me. You could have a massage as well. There was a massage tool as well. And these terrible dolls here, I think these are angels as well. They look totally terrible in my eyes, but I thought perhaps we can take them apart and use those buttons and the fabric and the lace that's included here to make something beautiful, to scan them and make digital products or something like that. Not products, but digital resources, to put them into a digital design or something like that. So I've decided to take 1 pair of those angels and I've hidden them here behind this thing because I didn't want to take them with me on my whole way over the campsite. So hopefully they are still there when I come back. So there in the background you can see the Plansee. That's a very big lake here in Austria and it's directly next to the campsite. I really like to go for a walk here, not on this street, but closer to the lake. But here I wanted to go as fast as I could to the reception so that my angels will be there when I come back. So here you can see a little part of the lake. It has not so much water at the moment, but later on this gray area in the foreground will be filled with water as well. And in the summer, it's really, really beautiful here. I mean, I like it in every season, but yeah, the most of the tourists, of course, come in summer and are enjoying their holiday here. So we are going over this little bridge here, and then we are going directly to the hotel. Here's also a hotel next to the campsite, and in this hotel there's the reception of the campsite, and sometimes my happy mail and my normal mail goes there instead of going to the snack bar where I normally pick it up. Yeah, sometimes I have to search for my mail here, but it always comes to me. So let's go there. Here in the summer, there are laying hundreds of people. As you can see now, nobody is here. I'm really enjoying this, that it's so quiet at the moment, because I know that in a few weeks this will have totally changed. But yeah, that's if you live in an area where many tourists are, of course, that's a normal thing. Here are also some first flowers. I had to film them as well because I'm always so happy if I see some flowers. Yeah, so some tourists are there. They are making a little walk there. And now we are going to the reception and I will pick up my happy mail. There was a question from you how I ended up in Austria and especially how I ended up living on this campsite. So when I was in Germany, I mean, I was born in Germany and lived in Germany for the most time of my life. When I met Gary, I was on holiday here in Austria and I met him, I fell in love with him, and then I've decided that I want to move to Austria and live here. And when I got my job at this snack bar that I have shown you, I have decided that I don't want to drive from my work to my normal home, because that would be, yeah, approximately 45 minutes to drive one way. So I've decided that I want to buy this little tiny house here where I can stay in the summer while I have to work at the snack bar. And since I've quit my job there, I've decided that I want to stay here because my junk journal studio and all of my art supplies are in my tiny house. In my other home, where I am mainly in the winter time, I don't have any craft supplies. So yeah, I'm really happy that I can stay here and that I have my home here and all of my supplies that I need to create junk journals, videos, Etsy items and that stuff. So here I'm back at the trash place, and here is my little treasure box. So I'm picking it up. Nobody has found it in the meantime. And the other two pairs of angels were also here. Still here. So I've decided that I want to take one for my ex-colleague in the snack bar, so that I have a little surprise for her. Because I realized that my YouTube upload was not finished when I came back from the trash place. I mean, if you upload a video to YouTube, it will take very, very long. So I went back, and then I went directly to the snack bar to give my ex-colleague these little angels. And before I went there, I wanted to try out how they look on my window here. So I have this little area where some of my plants are, and I put them here to this window, and I realized when the sun is coming from the backside, they are looking really, really spooky. I was a little bit surprised about that. So perhaps that's not the perfect place for them, even if I like them here. I tried to put them onto this little frame of the plant pot, but they are sitting there not so secure, so I have to find another solution. I put them back here to my window first, and then later on I will decide where they will go. At the moment I'm decluttering my craft room, and I have built some new storage areas and that stuff, so later on there will be, yeah, not such a mess like at the moment. So I will decide where to put them. I'm really happy, and this is also a cool memory of recording this video, because I will always know that I have found them when I recorded this video. So here I'm in the snack bar where I have worked, and my colleague makes a little joke with me. So she is hiding behind this door because she has seen me that I was coming in with the camera. We had a little coffee together, and then I went back to the caravan, and here you can see me at my computer filling all of the informations into this form of YouTube where I have uploaded my videos. So I have to put in the title for the video, the description box, the links for you, and everything for my English video and for the German video as well. So that's what I'm doing now. And while I'm doing that, I would like to take the chance to answer some more of your questions that you have asked below my past videos. Okay, so let's start with the first question that says, in which country do you live, and what big city is closest to you? So the campsite where my tiny house is and where I'm now and where I'm living in the summer is in a city that's called Breitenwang, and Breitenwang belongs to Tyrol. The next bigger city that you perhaps might also know overseas is Innsbruck. I have often read some comments from you, and that makes me always so happy when you tell me that you perhaps were in holiday in Austria, or you have lived for some years here, and then sometimes you have written that you have been in Innsbruck. And for me, that's like coming together in different time universes. Do you know what I mean? I live in Austria since 2016, so that's not so long. And when you write such things that you have been to Austria in your childhood or many, many years ago, I always feel like we could have met here, even if that's of course not possible. But always when you write something like that, that you have been here, I feel so connected to you because, yeah, I'm here as a German woman living in Austria. You have been here for holiday, and that in some really, really weird way makes me feel so connected to you. And that's really, really fun to read, of course. And I also, of course, like when you write that you like Austria. I mean, Austria is a really, really beautiful country, and I really love it here, even if it's very different to Germany. I mean, in Germany, we have no mountains and that stuff. Not so much snow, for example, in the winter. It's very different living in Austria than in Germany. But yeah, it's cool here. So I like to be here, of course. The second question I would like to answer, I want to combine a few of those questions. So that's about what must visitors to your city not miss seeing? If I were to visit your town for only one day, what should I see or do? That's a very interesting question because, yeah, the Plansee is here at the campsite, directly at the campsite. So if you want to make a holiday here on this campsite, you can't miss the Plansee. So that is a really, really beautiful lake. I have shown you some impressions from this lake a few minutes ago in this video, and I will of course share some more video material in the summer because it's totally different in the different seasons. Yeah, another thing that you should see or experience here in this area is the High Line. That's a very, very high bridge that goes from one mountain to another mountain over a very big street. And you can go over this bridge. It's so I had to ask my translator. In German it's called Hängebrücke, and in English it says suspension bridge. Suspension bridge. Hopefully I'm saying that right. So that means that the bridge is hanging over the area where it is. Do you know what I mean? It's really high. You should have that in mind before you visit that bridge, but it's a really, really big experience. So I am really afraid of height. So if I have to hang a picture to my wall and I have to take a hammer and a nail to put that into the wall and then hang my picture and or my artwork or whatever, and I have to go to a chair, for example, that's already too high for me. So I have really, really big problems also with climbing to the roof of my tiny house in the winter to get rid of the snow. That's not possible for me. I always have to ask Gary if he can do that for me because I'm getting panic when I am too far away from the ground. But I could manage it to go 2 times over this bridge with the help of Gary, and the other time with the help of my friend Caro. She helped me a lot to do that and to go over this bridge with her. But if you have no problems with height, then you definitely have to visit this suspension bridge. This bridge. Then there was another really interesting question that says, when you look out your favorite window in your home, what do you see? And I guess that is the first question that you have asked me where I can't give a good answer. Because when I look out of my windows here in my tiny house, I see other caravans and I see plastic walls from the other caravans, and there's nothing that is really spectacular. So there are sometimes people walking along their way. Sometimes I can see when the other people are cooking something outside. I hardly can see the mountains because I have to make my head, for example, like this to be able to see the mountains. So the main thing I see is plastic because yeah, all of the caravans have those plastic walls to make them look like tents. That it is this, that it gets this campsite feeling. So that's a rule that we all have to follow. When we have a tiny house here on the campsite, then we have to put those plastic things around it so that it looks like a tent. It's a little bit strange because wood would look way better and would fit way more better into the nature that is here around. But yeah, it's a campsite and it has rules. But I can't give a really good answer to this window question because there's nothing spectacular when I look out of them. And then there was a question if I have time for myself when I have to record so many videos for YouTube and when I have to put my items to my Etsy shop and that stuff, if I have time for myself and if I have the time to craft for myself. I have to say, I had to think about the answer very long because normally I would say the reality is no. I nearly have no time to craft for myself and to craft in my private journals, for example. But what is that? I mean, the question has something like a bit of a negative taste in it, because this person who has asked that, I guess she made some thoughts about my life and she wants to know, yeah, how much free time do you have if you are a YouTuber? And I have to say, I don't have so much free time. I'm crafting mainly when the camera is recording, but I don't have the feeling that I don't have free time and time for myself. And I've tried to find an idea why I don't feel like I have no free time. And I think the answer is that I always have the feeling that I am crafting with you together. So like we have a meeting, we have perhaps a workshop or something like that, and we are there in our free time to craft something together. And the other thing is that I found out that I'm a person that needs some kind of a feedback. When I make a project at my desk without the camera, I'm always asking some people, my friends, on Messenger or Gary or a neighbor that is coming along here. I'm asking the people what they think about what I did there. I guess I'm this person who needs this feedback to grow. Not because I want to hear, oh, that's wonderful what you did there, that's outstanding, that's a masterpiece. That's not important for me. That's totally not important for me. But I need to hear what the people think, how the people's eyes see what I did, to get an idea what I can make better, what I can change, what I perhaps haven't seen about this project. And that's a really, really big chance for me, of course, to grow and to grow my skills, to grow my own view to my projects. And for me, that's really, really helpful. And that's also, I guess, an answer that answers the following question. What made you decide to start making videos and how you got started? In the last video, I have told you that I was really without a plan in the beginning when I started my YouTube channel. But with the time, I found out that I need this feedback from the people just for myself. that are totally two different worlds, I would say. The one world is I would like to give you some tutorials. I would like to give you some joy, of course, while watching my videos. I would like to tell you something about junk journaling and what you can do and how you can use your junk journals. Of course, I would like to tell you something about digital printable paper and how you can use it and all that stuff. That's one world. And there are many thoughts within this world, but the other world is what I can get from that. I think if you consider opening a YouTube channel, yeah, maybe a junk journaling YouTube channel, then you should have in mind that you, on the one hand, want to give information and, for example, tutorials, helpful information. And on the other hand, you have to think about what is that making with you and with yourself. Sharing things with the public, I mean, I'm not talking about what I'm telling you here. I'm not talking about answering to private questions. I'm talking also about putting feelings and emotions, your heart and your soul into a project and sharing that with the public. I mean, what's more? Do you know what I mean? If you ask me a private question and I'm sitting here, you can look at my face and I'm talking to you and I'm answering the question, that can be as honest as when I don't talk and make an ASMR video about a project where I journal about a special day in my life, a special experience, or I'm putting together some colors that can be as private and as personal as when I talk to you and answer to a private question. And if you think about starting a YouTube channel, you have to have that in mind, that you have to share 99% of yourself, even if you don't talk about that every time. And yeah, this decision to make a YouTube channel, that was in the beginning a totally coincidence, I would say, a little experiment as well. I have found out what junk journaling means. I made my first own junk journals and then I realized, of course, there are some YouTube channels and there are some people who are sharing their tutorials. And I thought I would like to try out how this algorithm of YouTube works. So in the beginning, it was I don't know how to say that. It was a joke for myself, an experiment, something just for fun to try out. So I made a little mini junk journal, a plain mini junk journal with some music sheets out of a Marlboro cigarette box. And I wrapped it with a little paper bag that was the simplest thing that you could imagine. And I made a video about that and I've uploaded that to my YouTube channel without any plan, without any expectations or something like that. And I've said to myself, if I get, I don't know the exact amount of people that I had in my mind, but I guess I said something like, if this video gets 100 views and I get 20 subscribers, then I will go on, something like that. But that was a joke for myself. That was a joke between Gary and me, and we wanted to know what will happen if you upload a video to YouTube. He has many colleagues that are making music as well as he is doing as well, and we were always wondering about those high click rates on YouTube. So if a colleague that he knows from wherever, that's not important, is uploading or has uploaded a video, a music video, and the next day the video had many views, we were always wondering how that is possible, that a music video, for example, can get so much views overnight. And that was the beginning where I started thinking about this algorithm of YouTube and how that works. And when I'm talking about that and with this first video, I really can't realize what's happening in the now. I mean, I'm sitting here with over 20,000 subscribers, and I nearly can't believe that. I mean, that's totally strange. And when I think about what Barbara said, Barbara at 49 Dragonflies, she said in one of her last videos that only 3.4% of all of the YouTube channels that are existing are reaching over 10,000 subscribers. That's what? Yeah, so that was the beginning of my YouTube channel, this little experiment. And then when I realized that some people have watched the video and also commented below the video, I have started thinking about what else can I show. And then I tried out different things without any goal or something like that. I wanted to know, what can I do while I'm recording? I mean, that's also a learning process. Watch the first videos on my channel. No, don't do that. I know you will do it now. So if you watch the first videos on my channel, you will think, okay, that's not the same person. But of course, it's a learning process. The first videos are very funny, very, my English was a disaster. I had a really hard job also with technology, finding out which light can I use, which camera do I have to use, and all that stuff. And yeah, with the time, I found out different things. I found that out by myself. I'm a self-taught YouTuber. There's no special education that I had to film my videos or something like that. That's all trial and error. And yeah, with the time I found also different people, of course, who are also having a channel, who could help me. Again, Barbara at 49 Dragonflies. Hi, Barbara. She helped me a lot and she gave me lots of tips, what I can do better and that stuff. She took much time to help me, and I really, really appreciate that, and I will appreciate that until the end of my life, because I guess without Barbara I would not be here. Barbara is not the only person that I want to mention, that there are many other people who have helped me and who have collaborated with me to get me out of this little black hole there on the ground. And I really, really appreciate that. And that's also a thing. If you have a YouTube channel and you want to grow your channel, I guess without collaborations, it's not possible. You have to find people that you can trust, that you like, where you have a good personal connection, and then make collaborations. Without that, it's really, really hard. It's not impossible. I don't want to say that it is impossible, but of course it's way more successful if you do that and if you collaborate with other people. Yeah, and then there were some questions about my English. So I will bring some of those questions together here. There were many, many people who have asked that. So let's start with, how was school a positive experience in your life? I know you learned about English in school, but how is it that you have become so good at using English that you could make both English and German videos? So yeah, there were many people who have asked if I had a special English training, or where I have learned that, how it is possible to do that in both languages and that stuff. If I if my parents have spoken English and teach me that and that stuff. So there were many, many questions about that. So I have to say, English in school was a totally disaster for me. It was definitely not a positive experience for me. It was the opposite. I had a very rough, but I would say good English teacher in school. but I was a child that had no, I would say I had no inner access. I don't know if that's the right word, to this language. So it was really, really hard for me. And I had a really hard job to follow this English lessons in school. Later on, my teacher has changed. So I got another teacher, and by accident, this teacher is also the neighbor of my father. So I know him from my private life as well. When there was a birthday party, then he was there as well. His daughter was in the same class like I was. So when I visited her, I saw him. And that was always some kind of strange, because if you are not such a good student and if you have not so much success with the language, then it's a little bit some kind of embarrassing to visit your teacher or to see your teacher in your private life. And I have the feeling that my father now, so my father is still living in Germany and this English teacher is still his neighbor. I'm here in Austria. But sometimes when I'm speaking with my father and when I call him, he tells me that he has met my English teacher, so his neighbor. So for him, he is his neighbor and not my English teacher, of course. But he has told me that he has shown my English teacher some of my videos and some of my English speaking videos. I was like, what have you done? Oh my goodness. He says that my English teacher can be proud of me because I was so bad in English when I had it in school. But of course, I know that I make mistakes and that I still have to learn so many words and grammar and that stuff. And for me, it's always like, oh my goodness, hopefully he's not watching. Ulrich, if you are watching, Mr. Soldansky, that's his name, Ulrich Soldansky, if you are watching, thank you very much for your English lessons. I think what I can now, I have not learned from you, but that was not your fault, but totally my fault. I don't know what happened, but it's not your fault that that I've not learned so much English in school. Yeah, and then when I started my YouTube channel, I realized that I have to make my videos in English, otherwise there would be no audience. When I started my YouTube channel, there were nearly no German-speaking people. Otherwise, perhaps I would have started my channel in German and not in English, because that would have been way more easy. But all the people, also the people that I had in my messenger list that I knew from Facebook groups or that stuff, they were all English-speaking people. So I've started my videos in English and I've tried to do my best to make that understandable. And then later on, I've changed my mind. I tried to make only German videos because I thought that I can't handle it anymore. It was so hard for me. And when I made only German videos, I tried to put in those subtitles. But on YouTube, you have to type that in by hand. So you have to write sentence by sentence every single word when you have if you want to have a good subtitle below the video. You know, there are those automatically generated subtitles, but they are always like in German we would say Kauderwelsch. So that means there are words, the words make sense, but the whole context doesn't make sense. So it's a disaster if YouTube translates that automatically. And while I was doing that, I realized that I spent more time filling in those subtitles than making the actual video. And I thought, no, Louise, you can't handle that. I guess Christmas, not the last Christmas, but the Christmas before the last Christmas, In December, I did a series, that was a little advent calendar with some tutorials, and there I did that. For every video, I've put in those subtitles, and I had a video every day, 24 videos in German with 24 subtitles, and no. No, no, no. I thought, Louise, you can't do that. You will go crazy when you do that in the future as well. And I've also tried to make videos in both languages at the same time. So that means I say something in English, then I say the same thing in German. Then I say the next thing in English and the same thing in German. And I've tried to do that in one video to save time for myself. But I realized that for my viewers, that's not a solution that is acceptable, because the video would be so long, it would be so boring in between if you can't understand the other language. And yeah, in the moment when I did that, I couldn't realize that. I thought it can be a solution. I was like, oh, it's not the perfect solution, but it was a solution for that moment when I did that in the past. But then I realized that this is not handleable for the future. And then I've decided to go this step, that I do my videos in English and in German. And since I'm doing that, I have the feeling that I feel way more relaxed with making my videos. Some people say you could record the video in German, for example, and then make a voiceover in English on top of that same video material. But for me, it's easier. And of course, I appreciate your suggestions, yeah, because you said you could save time and that would be way more easy. But when I make a voiceover over, for example, a tutorial video, I always have the feeling that I'm so far away from you. If I can't point out different things, if I can't show you some things to the camera and say, look here, this texture or this pattern or something like that, when I can't have my hands and my voice coordinated at the same time, do you know what I mean? That's so hard for me. I feel so far away from you that I have the feeling that this voiceover is destroying my video and my project. So that's the reason why I'm trying to craft and record first in German, and then I record and craft the same thing in English, so that I have two slightly different versions of the same video. And sometimes, for example, when we did this blind date journal project, perhaps you have heard about that, then I also did two totally different things in the German and in the English video based on the same idea. And that's for me something where I can say that's for me really helpful and something where I can learn a lot. Take an idea, make, for example, a junk journal spread with a pocket in German, and do the same thing slightly different in English. Then I have done the same thing 2 times after each other, but I had the chance to learn something in between before I go on to the next project. Hopefully that makes sense. So for me, that is way more easy. And at the same time, I'm hoping that everyone who has a YouTube channel can do that in his mother language. And or if you speak perfect English and perfect German, then you could do that in both languages very easily. But I have to say it's really hard for me. But I also, of course, appreciate all of you English-speaking viewers and all of your help. You are helping me so much with words and explaining me things and that stuff. I have learned so much from you. And that's also a question, where did you learn to speak English? As I said, I haven't learned that in school. Definitely not. But I have learned that, I guess, with watching English videos. And I always have, I would say, 1 or 2 channels that I'm watching regularly and where I watch the video not only because of what is shown there, but because of the language. At the moment, and also in the past, I guess for a very long time, I mean the whole time, I would say, my junk journal English teacher is again Barbara at 49 Dragonflies. She has an English that I can understand really, really well. She is speaking not so fast so that I can follow relatively good. I can understand 99% of what she is saying. And the words that I don't know, I can look up, and then often I'm sitting there with little index cards and writing the words down that she is using for her tutorials, and in the context of crafting, I'm writing the words down and then I'm trying to learn them. That's not always so successful, but I need that to to bring my brain into this crafty vocabulary mode. I think if you want to learn a language, that would be totally different than I'm doing that. But for me, mainly the junk journal vocabulary is what I need. So sometimes I have problems when English speaking people are walking around the campsite and they are asking me something from the normal life, not the junk journal life, but the normal life, then I have problems to understand and to answer. But that gets better as well. I'm realizing that when I meet English speaking people, that I don't have so much fear as I had before to talk to them. I mean, talk to the camera is something totally different than talking to someone in reality, of course. Okay, so I would like to finish this video here with a comment that I just got here on YouTube. Jane has written, I'm in awe too, like others here, into all that goes into making these pages, but then uploading them to your shop. You said it takes a long time. Is it easy to switch from doing art to editing art? They both seem like full-time jobs. I really like this question, and when I read this before I started the camera, I thought, okay, I have to take this question. Switching from doing art into editing art, that are two full-time jobs. That is a fact. I mean, you have written that like you were not sure. They both seem like full-time jobs, and I can say they are full-time jobs. But it's also a good thing to recharge yourself. If you are sitting on your craft desk and you are making your art for hours and you record that, after that you need a break. And for me, a really good break is editing my video material. When I can re-watch what I have done, I can calm down myself. I can realize better what I did. And especially when I take my physical art and put that into a digital art, that is for me like the next generation, another universe or something like that. No, that's too much, but do you know what I mean? When you can take something that you have made with your hand and bring that into your computer to Etsy, for example, to make it available for people all over the world. I mean, that's a crazy, so wonderful feeling, and that's such a wonderful thing for me that I can share my things and that I can see the people enjoying that. That's the biggest gift that I could ever get in my life. And for me, that's something that is totally different, and that are two jobs combined in one. But it's also something that goes so well together, even if it's so different. And for me, it's a good, a thing that can balance me. So if that makes sense. So thank you very much for this question. And yeah, that's it from me for now. So it is relatively late in the evening now. I guess I will make some bread or something like that. I think my stomach screams for a cheese bread or something like that. A bread with cheese. So that is what I want to say. And yeah, then I will take a shower. But before I take the shower, I will shower my dishes. So I have to take my little basket where all of my empty coffee cups and that stuff and the rest of my dishes are in. And I have to carry that basket there to a little house where a very big sink is, where you can wash your dishes, because there's no running water here in my tiny house. I have a little bit of water to make my coffee and a tea or something like that, or wash my hands, but to have real water and warm water, of course, you have to go to this little house there. And after I have washed my dishes, I will wash myself, take a shower, and then I will eat a bread and go to bed. And if it's not too late, then I guess I will scan in the jelly prints that I have made. I like to do those, yeah, a little bit nerve-wracking things in the evening. Those things that are preparing my next steps. I like to do that in the evening so that I don't have to do that in the morning. So if I would stand up and have my coffee, and then I know, oh my goodness, I have to scan in all of those papers, because before I can start, that is totally nerve destroying for me. So I like to do those tasks in the evening so that I can start with a fresh brain, and yeah, my creativity can start in the morning directly when I wake up. Yeah, so that was my day. A day split it into 2 parts, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope we will see the next time. Stay creative, stay healthy. See you. Bye bye.